Hi everyone, welcome to our review of the new Bauer Supreme Mach equipment for 2022. Before we start, I just wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to Bauer Hockey UK for sending us this equipment for us to be able to test on the ice and to be able to film this review content for you all. So as is the same with all of our videos, we'll be splitting this into two. So the first video will look at the leg pads, and then there'll be part two which will look at the blocker and catcher. So let's get started with having a look at the leg pads. I've not tested much Bauer gear before, so straight out of the box I was extremely impressed with how the pads in particular performed on the ice and how they feel. I must admit they did feel a little bit heavy when I first took them out of the box, but as soon as I strapped them on and sort of felt the balance and how the weight was distributed, it wasn't a problem at all. Didn't notice it as soon as I got on the ice, and they actually felt absolutely fantastic on the ice. I can't say enough good things about how they feel, how they perform. If we look into a few of the features on the back, if we look at the stability first of all, Bauer have kept the stabler slide in the knee block that they first introduced with the ultrasonic a couple of years ago. It was a fantastic feature then, and one that I've been really keen to try out ever since. So I'm really glad that they kept it on there, and it's a really noticeable feature on the pads. It keeps the pads completely square to the ice. There's no sort of like flexing or twisting when you're in your butterfly on the ice. It keeps the seal absolutely perfect along the ice there. To complement that, they've got the new calf support system, which is a big sort of thick calf pillow underneath the calf block there, and in the calf plate it's all integrated into one, and it just helps keep that consistent shape throughout the leg pads. So even when the knee is nice and stable, the calf is kept at the same level, so the pad stays nice and square to the ice. In addition to that, they've got the new Tune Fit Plus system, which allows you to fully customize and personalize your strapping setup and keeps the pad perfectly balanced on your leg. In terms of the coverage, we've already covered like the butterfly, the seal, but what Bauer have introduced for this one is a new below the knee brake here, which creates just that perfect curve straight out of the box, and also the curved composite thigh rise, just to keep that nice and stiff so you don't get shots that sort of squeak through the five hole and sort of bend the thigh rise there. So overall, very stiff leg pad, but in a good way. So it's very, very stable. It's got the 120-degree boot angle, which allows the pad to sit a bit higher on the boot, but it's also a nice soft boot there. So when you're integrating with your post on your RVH, it bends sort of nice in just to keep that coverage on the post there. And finally, they have the slider skin technology, which I believe is there to improve the durability on previous Bauer models. But the way these pads slide on the ice is absolutely rapid. I think if you're not expecting it, if you're sort of not ready to slide, especially on fresh ice, you're going to slide for miles. So if you're testing these pads out, be prepared to slide very, very quickly, in a good way. You can move across the crease extremely quickly in these leg pads. So overall, my first real test of a Bauer pad, and I couldn't be more pleased with them. They perform absolutely great. Just with the stiffness of the pad surface, rebounds fly for miles, which has become a bit of a trademark of the Supreme line for Bauer. But yeah, very, very impressed. And thank you again to Bauer for sending these out. And please stick around for part two on a separate video where we'll be looking at the blocker and catcher. Thanks a lot.